Okay, another question I picked up on is scale of production. This tends to come up quite a lot. So it says you're supposed to spend 6 minutes on this question, scale of production. It says below is a list of different types of products, and it says complete the table below. An example has been given for you that's already started. So they're very keen about trying to give you an example to start off with, because it gets the student confident in terms of what they're doing. And also it gives you a nice starting point and the types of things that you need to do. You can see from the question, 2 marks, 2 marks and 2 marks. So they're looking for sort of 2 sort of descriptive answers. So one-off production, it says one-off production is when only one of the product is made. It's usually a unique specialised product. So they've given quantity here and then the type of product that is linked. So the next one, batch production. So batch production, okay, is a set quantity made. So it might be 10, it might be 20, but it's a small quantity, okay? All right, it is labour intensive, which means it takes a long time to produce them because they're usually done by hand. Labour intensive, and machines can be changed to alter the product. Okay, so batch produced is usually a set, or you might get away with writing it's a small number. Labour intensive, because you could usually make them by hand, one at a time. Machines can be changed to alter the product, which is much easier than having a machine that makes 1,000 items, because to change that obviously means you're changing a lot of numbers. To alter this procedure of making a small batch is really straightforward to do. So mass production is large quantities. Okay, and you can put thousands if you want to. Okay, it's usually in production lines. Okay, product changes regularly. That will get you 2 marks. Then we come to the one at the bottom. So continuous production, produced 24/7. Okay, like newspapers, the print industry, millions of products are produced. So the keywords here are millions and 24. Keywords here are large quantities, production lines, change regularly. Keywords here are labour intensive, changing the product, set quantity. Okay, that will give you full marks in those descriptions. Just move on to the next one, and this is again number 8. This is really wasn't done particularly well in the exam. Study the picture of the sailing boat below. Okay, so here's your nice little sailing boat. The designer wants to make a stencil of the sailing boat. Okay, the stencil will be used to put a border on a wall of a nursery. So what you're looking for here is like a really, really simple stencil. Okay, so stencil of the boat, wall of a nursery. So think about if you're painting the nursery and you're putting a stencil down, draw a suitable stencil. It's worth 6 marks for this, which is like dead simple to do. Now, if you imagine that they've given this area here, and they're trying to imagine that this is the area for the stencil. Okay, if I look at my boat here, I'm not going to draw a really complicated boat because it's for a children's nursery and it just needs to be really simplified. So what I might do is draw myself a stencil of that boat. Okay, I'll give myself 1 sail, like so. Okay, then another sail, and you can see from the drawing here that 1 sail is lower than the other. You can see where you've got the beam going across there. So you've got to really maybe indicate that in your drawing as well. So 1 sail slightly lower than the other. Okay, and then we need a boat shape at the bottom. So you could do something like this, as long as it looks like a boat, some description. And that would be classed as a stencil. Okay, now what we need to remember is that with a stencil, okay, so if I'm painting in this, it's then going to produce me a little stencil of a boat that looks like this. Okay, I'll get that on the wall. Now what you need to remember is that this area here and here will probably be made out of card or plastic. Okay, and what they can't be is too thin, because if they're too thin, these are going to break, these are going to snap, and the area shouldn't be too close together. But that is 6 marks, folks, for drawing a very simple boat of what a stencil looks like. And of course, if you wanted to circle put a circle in here, if you had a stencil here with a circle, you wouldn't leave it in the middle of the stencil. You'd have to join it to the stencil like so. Okay, because otherwise it's obviously going to fall out the stencil. Think about stenciling numbers.